Back their origin.
I need to tell everyone what
Teraz by
happened at
sme mali byť
Drake
schopní vyrobiť tie veci
and I'm
posledné.
going to need Otto's help.
Ešte nie.
Ešte to nemáme. Musíme najprv pokecať do
There's
toho.
something about it.
Still alive, I see. Something tells me that eyesore on the horizon is your doing. How'd you manage that?
It's a long story. One that I'd rather only tell once.
Right. All hands on deck then.
Všetky ruky na paluba. Takže veľká porada. Všetci sme tu. A fakt tu sú všetci.
Is this everyone? As I'm sure you've all guessed, the crystal which now commands the eastern skies was summoned by Ultima. He called it Origin. Though the significance of that name is as yet unclear.
What does it matter what it's called? Its emergence tore Twinside asunder and wiped my homeland from the map.
Mention of the Dominion spires can be found in the oldest of Valisthian records. But to the best of my knowledge, none provide any hint as to their true nature. That they would prove the horns of some slumbering demon. Well,
The Dominion's demise was at least quick. Elsewhere, the Republican army cannot hope to contain the chaos engulfing Randalar. Canva is in flames, and the Empire.
Our allies are crying out for answers. I've sent the curse breakers to give them what assurances we can, but right now that amounts to fuck all.
They wouldn't be able to stop what the skies have started in any case. People here and across the realm grow sicker with every passing day.
Could it be that this new mother crystal is like the others? That it draws upon the land's ether? It certainly looked that way from stone here.
If that were true, it would explain the hastening spread of the Blight since the crystal's appearance. Would it not?
And as the land's ether slowly rises to the surface, it pools, corrupting all who cannot channel its energies. Archaea above, ether floods below, and in the middle, here we languish, hopelessly entrapped.
It's all right. When we faced him at Stone here, Ultima told us his true power quickens in the halls of Origin. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to continue. If we are to stop him, we will have to find a way into the crystal.
How are we going to manage that then? It's up in the sky. And fast as she is, the Enterprise can't fly.
It's a lot to take in, and I reckon we'd all benefit from some time to clear our heads. The answer will come to us. Don't you worry. Ain't that right, Clive?
Right. That's right.
Well, go on then. Bugger off.
No tak ale vypadnite.
Same goes for you, Clive. You won't solve anything like this. Trust me. Go and get some fresh air, eh?
Jasne, pôjdem hneď na všetky hunty, ktoré sa objavia.
Thank you. Joshua seemed upset.
Nič? Žiaden hunt? Už ma vytačajú.
First the skies, then the crystal.
Trouble with your gear, or what do you want?
Čo máš nové? Upgradenutý Defender je lepší než ten, čo máme. A Defender plus 2 je ešte lepší.
No scratches, right?
Kľúč mine. Ja neverím, že mi chýbajú nejaké súroviny. Lukáš, nepredávaš to náhodou kľúč mine?
Going purse weighing you down.
Či jak sa to sakra volalo? Kľúč mine.
You'll not find a better price than that.
To by malo stačiť.
Yep. Not saying fortune, dear. Not my best work, but it'll do.
Dobre, tieto veci sú horšie. Ale tady toto je celkom dobré. Ale Ouroboros bol lepší. Ale tak zatím si urobíme toto.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Takto.
Not my best work, but it'll do.
Tak, a ja sem sakra tento meč.
Anything else?
Dobre, takže troška lepšie vybavenie máme. Zase. Dobre, ideme teda pokecať s Joshom, lebo fakt zatím nemáme inú možnosť. Ty, čo mám za meč?
Ultima may have created us, but he doesn't make us who we are. Only we can do that. And if he would have us fight for our survival, so be it. It's what we've been doing all along.
Much like Ultima himself, it would seem. His new world being naught but a means to survive. And so, we must contend to decide which of us shall inherit the land. Should Ultima prevail, it will mean death for us all. Of that, we can be certain. But even should he fail, what world awaits us? A withered, godless place, where our newfound freedom will most like prove a chain in itself.
Well, that may be. But a chain can always be broken. As long as one has the will to break it. It won't be easy. It may take generations. Centuries of suffering. And that is if everyone plays their part. But it will happen. And when it does, it will be on our terms. That is the world that awaits us.
Indeed. And what better world could one wish for?
first. We have to reach that crystal.
Then it's a good thing I have wings.
You can barely stand, let alone fly. And only the Founder knows what horrors await in those skies. Are you certain about this?
Am I certain? I am the Phoenix. I will do what I must. This is our fight. Remember?
Ešte jeden z vás tam lieta. Mohol by vám pomôcť.
All right. I yield.
Aj keď
But
vlastne
only what you
nemôžeš,
must. Yes. I'm still your sworn shield.
That you are.
And what of my wings?
No?
Lest you forget, you go to stand against a god. I would not have you succumb to fatigue before the fight begins. Ifrit, your brother mentioned that some few of the dominants who had lost their power to you were still able to prime. Is that true?
It is. But their icons no longer submitted to their will.
Then mine will have to be stronger. That you both might save your strength for the battle to come.
You don't have to do this.
If you do, there's a chance you might lose all you have left.
And what have I but regret? My life ended in the Dominion. I fear death no more. Besides, I would have words with Ultima. He has much to answer for.
We are in your debt, Dion.
We can speak of debts when this is over.
No, to by sa možno teoreticky dalo. Ale premýšľam ako.
He speaks like a man who knows he's not coming back. And has come to terms with that.
That doesn't mean that we have to. Does it, Clive?
Time to talk to Jill. I only hope she understands.
Otázka tohto je preto, lebo ak si pamätáme Benediktu, keď som jej zobral jej schopnosti, už nedokázala vyvolať Garudu, až dokým sa slušne povedané neposrala strachmi, keď ju prepadli a Garuda s nej na silu vyletela. A scvokla sa. Urvala sa z reťaze, ak by som mu dal povedať tiež. Takže keď ja som mu zobral sily a on by chcel na silu vypustiť Bahamuta, tak ako bola uvoľnená Garuda, tak myslím si, že by to bol väčší prúser než pomoc. Ale zase možno to nejako inak ovláda. Furt tu nie sú tie anty! Ja sa z toho poserem, ty vole, ja už chcem tie anty, no tak. Prečo mi to tá hra robí? Ja viem, aký tam je S-kový hunt, ja viem, ktorý ma to čaká. Ja ho sakra chcem splniť.
I was wondering when next you'd visit. I have compiled some new entries.
Viem, čo
If
tam
you would
za
like to see
netvora
them.
čaká.
I have quite the find for you today.
Barnavašova mamka. Mus Chronicles.
What subject shall we consider today?
Ježiš, toľko nových vecí, čo mi vali. Ultina. Valestia, informácie o nej. Nový svet, čo chce stvoriť. Každý si zase môže preložiť, keď bude chceť. Ifrit Raisin. Spojenie Ifrita a Fenixa. Krása. Logos. Počkaj, toto ma zaujalo aj mňa. Tam, kde Ultina používa mytos na opis nádoby, ktorú dlho očakával. Nádoby, do ktorej môže naliať svoju dušu a zoslať svoje najvyššie kúzlo Logos. Naznačuje jeho rúhanú formu. Počkať. Spell. Logos naznačuje jeho rúhanú formu. Takže že sa rúha Bohu. Nádobu, ktorá má vôľu. Ty vole. Úplne špatný. Nádobu iného a sebe falošnému bohu. False God. Rift. No a tady máme person. Rozfield sa nám rozšíril, toto sa... Viete, koľko tu toho je. Jill tiež, ty kráso, to je strašne veľa informácií. Ne, tu sme kedysi prechádzali. Dion, to má tiež hodne. Tento čurák sa zase niečo objavilo, o tomto sa zase niečo objavilo. Tyria. Blackhorn. Midtalon, Doris, tu nám ešte niekto chýba. Takže to ešte spoznáme nejakú novú osobu? No, viete čo, ja už kašľam na to, fakt to nejdem odklikávať, takže tu nám chýba jedna osoba ešte. Tady je to ako... Pardon, už to nebudem odklikávať. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 miest ešte. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miest. A tady je to všetko? No, nebol by som si tak úplne istý. Dobrá. Fakt je tam toho strašne veľa a nechcem s tým zabiť všetkým čas. Dnešný. Takže, máme si ísť pokecať s Jill. Tá nám natrhne prdel. Že sa zase ideme vrhať do nebezpečenstva. Poďme si pozrieť ešte veci, čo tu máme. Dostali sme vlastne tie ceduľky z tých obchodov. Teda od našich spoločníkov. Toto máme od Sida. Toto máme Hangman Singboard. Tak toto netuším, od koho sme dostali. Toto vieme, to je Martarest, áno. Toto je Sir Wade. Toto je Crimson Caravan, čo je ten brat zomrel. Sid Gobel, to je po Sidovi tiež. Tak toto netuším. To sú jablká, to bol quest. A toto sú sedadla, klasika. A ešte tam je toho plno, čo by sme mohli získať. To sa zase objaví asi 30 questov, ne? Ojojoj.
Come to wish on a star.
That might not be such a bad idea. This is it, Jill. You know what I have to do. Why I have to do it. There's no turning back now. This is where our journey was leading us. Where it will end, for better or worse.
I could pray to Metia for you. But you'll be all right, won't you, Clive? You always are.
I did promise we'd watch the moon together.
I'll be waiting.
Dámy pani, ja sa musím odskočiť. A hneď.
It's almost time. Better make sure I haven't forgotten anything.
Ešte si urobím vodu, jo? Tak. Dobrá. Jo, už vidím tá zelené pizdoviny. Žiadne hanty. What the fuck, raz, dva, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tu bude 7. O môj bože. Toľko vedľajšákov, no tak to tu. Ježiš, 2, takže 8 questov. Charon, okej.
What is it this time, Torgal?
Viac než slova?
Something tells me this is no mere adventure story.
Tak. To je sem, dobre, takže napríklad tu.
Clive, my boy! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such are the times we live in, huh?
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
From what little I saw, you were right to be worried.
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many. But in my estimation, there are two key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes? But such cases are few and far between. And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the borders laid down by our ancestors. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart.
But how would one even begin to unite the realm?
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine together. But I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel.
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more capable. Literally. And as luck would have it, I've already spoken with him on the matter.
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. On one condition. That he first speaks with you personally. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle, and he has certain qualms about clasping arms with, well, with an outlaw. I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old goat was adamant that he be allowed to appraise you in person. You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person, then so be it.
That's the spirit.
I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital. I'll have him tell Havel to expect you forthwith.
Excellent. Thank you, Uncle.
No. Thank you, Clive.
Three's Company? Tak. Dobre, jednička Visit Torgal. Dobre, môžeme to ísť pozrieť.
Say what you will. Lady Karen has seen our son.
Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he was looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you. Go on now.
Where to then, Torgal?
Torgal nás chce niekde zaviesť. Jo, mám sledovať Torkala. Dobre, za chvíľku. Plno ďalších questov. A to sme sa ešte nepozreli na mapu, že? Ideme sa pozrieť na mapu? Nech ma jebne. Jo, ako som si myslel. Uhni. Jo, ako som si myslel. Jeden. Tento quest inak potrebujeme nutne. Ďalší. A toto je to 3. Oj, až mi je zle. Jako ja mám tie questy rád, oni sú fajn. Oni ukazujú toto a máte slúžite s tými postavami. Ale strašne veľa sa tam keca. Strašne moc veľa.
Sid, you have to help us.
With what?
Keby lepšie rozumel anglicky, bolo by to pre mňa asi lepšie.
No. Well, yes. But that's not what we want to talk to you about.
It's Miss Middledal. She's been acting strange. Very strange. She's barely ever around.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's in a crowd.
In the clouds.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Right after she got back from saving you from Stoneham.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? You really should be more careful around Miss Middledal's inventions. Don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back together, couldn't you?
But who's gonna put Miss Middledal back together? She seems really sad.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid, may I have a moment?
Of course.
It is an honor to finally speak with you. My name is Herman. I've been with the Cursebreakers for some time now, and I wish to be deployed to Ash. Any assignment will do.
No. The lands across the Narrow are too dangerous. I will not send good men and women to risk their lives needlessly. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. Something important. I was raised in an orphanage. The Badbach Conservatory. Or rather, I was held captive there. It was not a place of nurture. It existed solely to turn bearer children into mindless weapons. We were tortured until we feared no pain. Tormented until our hearts turned to stone, and few ever survived long enough to become tools of the last king.
I can't imagine.
I lost so many. I can't even remember all their names, but they must be remembered. They cannot fade away, faceless and forgotten. The Institute was run with military precision. Every child measured, every name recorded, every death logged with meticulous care. Sid, allow me to travel to Ash and recover the registry so that my brothers and sisters might live on.
You are a good friend, Herman. But the fact remains that Ash is simply too dangerous.
Sid, please. Even should it cost me my life.
Too dangerous for you, Herman. But not for me. I'll go to Badbach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your life.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
Vie de Grace. Hidden in a forest, overlooking the plains.
All right. I'll see what I can find there.
May the mothers guide you.
Jeden quest za druhým. Super.
Has Midadol mentioned a new product?
Tá sa asi snaží priznať to, aby mohla loď lietať.
If you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will!
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First, I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if a godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the Tub and Crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might find some.
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
I do. And I know to give them a wide berth. Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Karava, near Old Bidza. Or what's left of the village anyway. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Super. Takže hodne starý adamantius, fajn. Speak with Vivian, dobre, ešte pokecame s Vivian. Viem, že ich robím tie questy tak nahodilo, ale...
I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you. But this book It set me on the path to becoming who I am today. Its importance cannot be overstated.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Cursebreakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability. I was hoping you could oversee this one's evaluation.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we should look for in those who'd fill his boots.
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Preboha, koľko tu toho ešte je.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
Jasne, úplne v pohode.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. She found some way to send me a letter. And something else. Records from a Waluda prison. Seems they were keeping a lot of bearers there.
How did she come by such a thing?
Finding bearers always was her strong point. And it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the masterless. Bearers no one would miss. And even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them. When ether started lapping at the walls, the jailers fled.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by whoever happened to come along next.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from traveling to Waloed, I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather risk shipwreck on the Shadow Coast than leave them to starve.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, but we travel together. And we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many as we can, and we leave.
Thank you, Sid. There was a name in the prison register. A name from my past. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. A gifted soldier, and the closest thing I had to family. The thought of him held captive in that place.
He must be very important to you.
He was. Is.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit walls, just beyond the portcullis. We should head there as quickly as we can. I only pray there are still bearers alive to save.
As do I, Doris.
Aj Joshua má pre mňa úkol.
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's... not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will. Or something akin to it.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but... would you join me?
Jasne,
of
že...
course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I'm ready to leave when you are.
Bambilion questov, ty kokso toto. Dobre, už mi tu zostávajú iba 2. Hej, Torgal. Kam to chceš zaviesť?
Alright, Torgal. Where are you taking me?
Na víno?
I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in almost 20 years. To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Okay. Tak, ešte... Harpokraác.
Ah, Clive, my boy. What a pleasure it is to see you.
Hippocrates. There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From a Distance.
Then you seek a rare gem indeed. One whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vivian.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much. I take it she didn't like what you had to say.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
The executors?
Coveters of secrets. A clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts and technologies. One such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does the true history of the enslavement of bearers. A tale which could overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it. I've never actually read the thing, or even set eyes on it for that matter.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why, secrecy is the executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it books, inventions, or people, before disappearing again, leaving nary a trace.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the executors, yes.
But what drives them? Self-interest or ideology?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identities of their leaders. Any answer I give would be pure speculation.
Then my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting? That I'd pluck it from thin air?
Not from thin air, no. From ash. Rumors of the executors are rife among the scholars of Storm, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend. Well, I had a friend in the village of Garnick, a collector of rare tomes, upon which subject we would oft correspond. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark. And no doubt he too has turned. But though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance yet rests upon one of his many shelves, quietly awaiting discovery. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library, I know his soul would rest easier.
Very well. When I next find myself in Waloed, I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
Takže to máme pobrané a šťastí poplnené všetky úkoly v Headway. Hunty žiadne. Čož ma dosť sere, ale... Tým pádom máme hodne veľa roboty vonku. Až príliš veľa. Až príliš moc. Takže začneme pekne od vrchu. Čož, tu máme niečo nájsť a tuto máme ten quest, ktorý potrebujeme. Tam by sme mali dostať ten rýhalku. Štvrtý a potom z Huntu 5.
Saw the captain just now. Your town needs you.
Do you have a moment, Clive?
What is it?
It's the Duke, unsurprisingly. His Eminence has assumed full control of the garrison and put every able-bodied man to work on the fortifications. The town was left all but unguarded, so Philippe was compelled to form a citizens' watch to fill the void. And though my dear boys have been characteristically willing to assist him in this, they want for bodies. So I was wondering if you would lend them your strength, that the people of Northreach might sleep easier, if only for a few nights.
Of course. Whatever you need.
Thank you, Clive. What would I do without you? Philippe told me he had men stationed at...
Where can I find the mistress of this establishment?
Here, my lady. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
My name is Sabine, and it is my displeasure to be the daughter of the Duke of Oriflamme, who I understand is causing you and your town no small amount of trouble. I wish to speak to you about what might be done.
Very well. Let us speak. I trust you'll forgive me, Clive.
Absolutely. Our conversation can wait.
Please, proceed.
As you know, my father is a most overbearing and supercilious man, and I join you in objecting to his every action. Indeed, I owe you my thanks for continuing to argue against his reckless plans. Yet I fear he is not one to be swayed by reason. No. He must be made to face the consequences of his actions.
And who would make him do this?
I would. Myself and several other like-minded individuals. Were you to join us, we would surely have the strength to drive him from Northreach for good.
Does that not seem a trifle... drastic?
Drastic action is precisely what is called for. Unless you are content to see your people downtrodden and dispossessed. My father would have it that citizens exist only to serve the Empire. That they should be forced to make every sacrifice to ensure her revival. But he is wrong. It is not the people who must serve the Empire, but the Empire who must serve her people. He's always been like this. Scornful of the opinions of anyone he judged beneath him. But he cannot be allowed to ride roughshod over the common folk any longer. We must fight him by all possible means.
Fight him? No. My purpose is to quell the tension in Northreach, not to stoke it. Respectfully, my lady. Our only chance of saving this town depends upon every one of us uniting against our common enemy. Your father and his followers included. While I understand your frustrations, I cling to the hope that he may yet be won round.
False hope, I assure you. But I see that your mind is made up. I shall bother you no longer. If you will extend me the same courtesy, I bid you good day.
She certainly has spirit.
Indeed. But unfortunately for us, that spirit is only likely to harden the Duke's resolve, which may be enough to seal the fate of this town. Not that she cares. This is all about her and her father.
Families.
I'm sorry, where were we? Ah, yes. I was about to tell you of Philippe's plans for the town watch, but perhaps it's better that you heard them from him. I believe he's in the market, if you'd be so kind as to seek him out.
Right away.
It's just a pity I cannot join you. I'd like to see the two of you in action together.
Tento quest uprednostníme teraz.
Your town needs you.
What does the dame have to say about all this?
So you are content to abandon... Please, I beseech you. If you are a true son of Northreach, you must fight to defend your home.
That's exactly what I am doing, milady. Or trying to, at least. The land is crawling with fiends, and someone has to keep watch.
Even when our true enemy is hiding in the garrison? Fine. You're not the only able-bodied man in Northreach. Thank you so much for your help.
She cornered you too, then?
Could hardly get a word in edgeways. Like father, like daughter, eh?
She made an uninvited appearance at the Vale earlier, hoping to convince the dame to join her in fomenting rebellion.
I bet that went well. Her ladyship seems to have a way with people. Anyway, what brings you here?
Our mutual friend thought you might welcome some help.
Oh, she did she? Right as always. In fact, you're just the man. We've had some reports, you see. Sightings of, you know what.
They're back.
Seems that way. All over, too. We haven't been able to confirm anything yet, but if you're willing, you could go and see what's what.
Right. Where should I look?
You know Grieger's Weep? One of the sightings places them somewhere on its shores.
I'm on my way.
Thank you, Clive. I'll look into one of the other sightings. Let's rendezvous back here later.
Tak. Takže to máme jeden druhý. Toto máme Trial of Error. To by malo byť toto. To je tá skúška toho
Well met,
scouta.
Sid. This is the initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Master.
Please, just Sid. There are no masters here. Your life is your own.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Sid. The sergeant says you'll be evaluating me at my trial.
To become a scout, yes.
Tak, scout.
You are aware of the dangers inherent in that role.
I am. But I swore I'd face them. Just like the man who saved my life.
And who would that be?
Gav. It was him who found me and freed me. No magic, no support, just one man and his nose. Came and sniffed me out. It taught me what one man can do if he puts his mind to it. And I've been training ever since, so that one day I can be someone's saviour, just like Gav was mine.
I'm sure he'd be flattered. You clearly have good intentions, Ember. And it sounds like you're under no illusions. Stick to this path and you'll make a fine cursebreaker.
So, what? Have I passed?
You haven't even started yet. Now listen. Not far from here is an Imperial lookout, Eastwatch. The guards there record all their sightings in a logbook. You are to find it and bring it here.
And bring it here, right. Anything else?
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing the logbook would be quite sufficient. You need to assess the situation, determine a point of entry, create a distraction and effect an escape, all without being discovered and thrown into an Imperial oubliette.
Ember, Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything. It's essential that you know your limits.
Know my limits, right. I won't let you down.
It shouldn't be as dangerous as I made out. But keep a weather eye on him all the same, would you?
On my way. All right, Ember.
Jo, jak som si myslel, že tam budem musieť ísť.
Impress me.
Dobre, teraz spravíme toto. Make of George Deep.
Damn it. The reports were true. I need to stop them before they get to the town. You're finished.
Trvali som so mnou? Myslím, že je teraz na výpravu.
Muhammad!
Preto to sa mi to Fenixu viacej ľúbi. Joshua to je? To som si nevšimol. Dobre, sú healery. Au. Nestiahnu hýbať normálne. A zase. A zase. Či to zmačnem príliš skoro, alebo... Konečne som sa trafil. Vrkajak. Ja zabudol som.
Well done, Tom.
Tobo.
Call that a test, Ultima?
Clive, it's me. Are you all right?
I am. But it seems the reports were true. The thralls have returned. I dispatched the few that I found, though.
Well, that's something, I suppose. But what were they doing south of town? They all came from the north last time. We might be able to fend off an attack from one side or the other, but from both?
Do you have eyes in the north?
Some. I should probably go and have a look, though, just to be sure. You head back to Northreach. I want you there just in case war breaks out while I'm away.
What do you mean?
Her ladyship's been busy working her magic on the townspeople, stirring up ill feeling towards her father. She'll have her marching on the barracks if we're not careful.
What? This is exactly what the Dane was afraid of. I'll do what I can to calm things down. Be careful out there, all right?
Don't worry, I'm not like you. One sniff of those things and I'm running back to town screaming blue murder.
Ježiš, čo sa to deje?
Do you not see, Father? The people of Northreach have given enough, and only a fool would ask for more.
Listen to me, Sabine. Where would our people be without their country, hmm? The Empire is their sword and their shield. It is she that ensures they can live without fear. And now she teeters on the brink. Without their sword, how will the people fight? Without their shield, how will they protect their kin? Can the unarmed stand against the advancing hordes? No. But there is yet hope. A new shield, a new sword. A new empire. We can rebuild Sandbreck, just as Great Grieger wills it.
Perhaps we could, Father. But we don't want to. Not if it is built on the broken backs of the people.
Please, let us not quarrel in the street. You must see that no good will come of this. Our fight is not with each other, but with the threat that draws ever closer to our gates. A threat that your sword has yet to rid us of, Your Eminence.
You will hold your tongue, whore! You may have filled my daughter's head with your heresy, but I will not be corrupted.
Corrupted? Your daughter's opinions are her own, as you would know if you had ever deigned to listen to her. At least I hope they are your opinions, and not posturing born of a family feud. Northreach deserves better than that.
Northreach deserves better than you, Carla. Yes, I know who you are. The slut of Twinside who bedded a Branded.
Jealous, are you? That a woman might choose a bearer over a pious man of Grieger.
Clive! I met a swarm of thralls coming south from Oriflamme. Hundreds of them. Too many to count.
No. Work on the fortifications has scarcely begun. We will retreat to Caer Norvent and there make our stand. Did you hear me? That was an order!
While this is but a heartfelt plea, let us make our stand here and protect our homes. Protect those that we love. Together, for Northreach!
You heard the dame. What are we waiting for? Pikemen to the gates. Archers to the roofs. Quickly, come on!
But she is but a common...
Whore, yes. And we'd follow her to the gates of hell. The men have their orders, and they look like following them. I got them spaced out at regular intervals. Whichever direction the thralls strike from, there'll be someone there to meet them.
Thank you, Philippe. Rest assured the people will play their part. The herbalist has donated her stock of medicines to me. Should any of your men be injured, take them to the Vale. We'll see to them there.
Thank you, milady. I will.
I'll play my part too. You still won for numbers. Unlike the enemy. I only hope I can go some way to evening the odds. Philippe, can I leave the south in your hands? I doubt the thralls by the lake were the last of their number.
Of course. I'll lead a party down that way so we don't get taken by surprise. What about you?
I'll make my way up the road to Oriflamme. I fought a few of these things. And while I can't promise to hold them all back, I should be able to thin the herd.
All right. But take care.
Thank you. Both of you.
You can thank us when it's over.
Till then, madame.
No, jdeme do boje.
I want steel in the hands of every man.
Paper si otočený na špatnú stranu. No, kde sú tie potvorky? Ukážte sa.
There are so many of them. Not for long.
Nie na dlho. Presne tak.
It's over. Is it over? No. It's only just begun.
Ricky.
Down, Torgal! All yours, Torgal. Down, Torgal!
Signál. Boj ešte raz, a? Trafil som. Ale on trafil mňa.
Waken wins! Farewell.
Skoro 100 000.
That looks to be the last of them. I wonder how the others fared. Better hurry back to town. Come on, Torgal.
Clive, it's good to see you.
And you. The road to Oriflamme is clear. How did you and your men fare?
Well, we ended up fighting for our lives down by the lake. Took a few nicks, but nothing the girls of the Vale can't put right.
Glad to hear it.
Well, it seems we've survived. For the time being, at least. I thank you both for answering the call.
You were right. And I was wrong. About everything. I had thought that the only way to unite the people was under the banner of Empire. That without a strong hand to guide them, they would drift apart. To be borne hither and yon by the eddying currents of fate. But you brought them together. Not by force, nor by the exercise of goddess-given authority, but by simply being one of them,
No už sa vykecaj.
By knowing what they feel. Because you feel it yourself.
Our purpose was ever the same, Your Eminence. You were merely distracted by a loftier vision of empire and glory, while our eyes beheld matters closer to home.
You have the right of it again. As did you, Sabine. His radiance said it himself. Sanbreque is naught without her citizens. I forgot that. And I am sorry.
I'm sorry too, Father. I should never have taken things so far. I only wanted you to understand how the people felt. How I felt. But my anger got the better of me.
Do not blame yourself, my dear. This was my doing. I should have listened to you. To all of you.
Your Eminence, Your Ladyship, I do not doubt that you came here with the best of intentions. But I believe the same could be said of us all. We all want safety, security, prosperity. Not just for Northreach, but for the entire realm. And we may yet achieve it. If only we work together. Will you join us in this?
Yes. We shall.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Now that that is settled, I must go and see to the wounded. The Vale's doors are always open to any soldier in need of relief. And today there are more than ever before.
Madame Isabel is a rare soul indeed. In these dark times, I see that it is not men like me who should lead the realm, but women like her.
You're right. If only I'd listened to her when I had the chance.
Forgive me for saying so, milady, but you still do. The dame said it herself. We can turn things around. We just have to work together. And that goes for you, too. You're one of us now.
One of you?
Well said, Captain. Let this be a new beginning. Not only for Sanbreque, but for us.
Well, since there's nothing more to be done here, I should see if Isabel needs any help moving the wounded.
No, pekne sa tu dali dohromady. No a speak with Isabel.
Can we get you anything?
Okay. Nie, čas na moju odmenu.
There's no need to worry any longer.
I saw several soldiers being carried to the Vale.
How goes the treatment of the wounded? I'd be happy to man one end of a stretcher if it would help.
You've helped quite enough for one day, Clive. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Oh, but I must. After all you've done for this town, it is the very least you deserve.
Tell me, if Northreach had fallen, what would you have done? A woman of your means could find a home anywhere in the realm, but I sense you would rather have died here.
It's a long story.
For you, madame, I have all the time in the world.
Very well. Long ago, I had a life in the Crystalline Dominion. I was Carla then, courtesan to the nobility. So sought after was I that it was only they who could afford my time. Alas, those halcyon days were not to last. For naive as I was, I fell in love with a bearer. He was my master's guard, the gentlest man I have ever known. After they discovered us together, he was whipped bloody and forbidden from ever looking at me again. And so we fled. Not that we had anywhere to flee to. We wandered, aimless and starving, half dreading, half praying that the next day would be our last. Until we found ourselves here, in Northreach. It was the Vale that took us in, that fed us, clothed us, and healed our hurts. Those that could be healed at least. My love was already too far gone.
He passed away.
He did. Not long after we arrived. But at least we were able to share a few moments of peace before the end. It was the greatest gift I have ever received. But the generosity of this town and her people did not end there. The men and women of the Vale supported me through my grief. Shared in it, though I was still a stranger to them. They treated me like a sister. And so I swore that I would always do the same. That I would return the kindness that Northreach showed me. That I would repay my debt to the Vale.
Thank you, Isabel, for sharing this with me.
You're a lot like him, you know. Perhaps that is why I have such a soft spot for you. Never stop fighting, Clive. And I shan't either. I know that it will not be easy to keep Northreach together. But our efforts will be rewarded. Just look at us now. The people, the soldiers, even the Duke of Oriflamme and his daughter, all united in defense of this town that we have come to call our home. And what of you? Can we count on your support too?
Always.
Pekný to príbeh, moc pekný. Ale hlavne sme dostali Orihalkum, presne to som potreboval. A spomienku na ňu. Dobre, no a ešte tu máme jeden prúser. Teda jeden úkol, ktorý musíme vyriešiť.
Just a little further.
Will you lend me a hand? They're still injured in the bar.
A čo tam bežím, keď tu mám obelisk? Nasademe na Čokoba a jedeme.
Come on. Faster.
Čo, nevyskočí to?
These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready. Or maybe not. Damn it. Ember, draw your sword!
Oh God!
Then run! If you want him, you'll have to go through me.
74 000, pomaly 80 000 zapeček mal piču. Tí nepriatelia sú stále tuhší a tuhší.
Ember, are you... Gone. Of course. Scouts really are a rare breed. Back to Northreach it is then.
Zmiznul. Vyparil sa chlapec.
Welcome.
An excellent choice. I do like a customer who knows what he wants.
The garrison said they'd take another 100 of me hitchbox.
Tak, to máme druhý quest.
I didn't expect you back so soon. Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job? I believe this is the logbook you tasked me with retrieving.
Hey? How did you... Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your skin.
What? Wasn't that what you asked me to do? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you then, his heir. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid, he
did what he thought was best. And now I have to decide whether I agree.
Of course. We'll await your evaluation back at the hideaway. Don't you leave my sight.
Yes, Sergeant.
Hotovo? Complete?
This won't be an easy decision.
Return to head. Jo, dobrá. No, takže tu máme čisto. A dáme si ešte jeden a pôjdeme... Nie jeden, dáme si jednu oblasť, spravíme tieto questy, všetky. Takže ideme aj pro tady. Toto hľadáme.
It's oil. After what happened here.
Aha.
It's a miracle there was any left at all.
Či?
This should be enough.
Dobre, to by malo že pristačiť. No. Martares nepotrebuje pomoc, ten Vistpule Sirovej tiež nepotrebuje pomoc, takže ideme semka. Do prístavu. Ešte to zamorené.
It's still here. After all these years. A lot smaller than I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to swim, boy. I wasn't being serious.
You two go on without me. I doubt that boat will hold a third.
If you're sure, we won't be long. Hop in, boy. This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on.
Tej sa chce ísť na prechádzku, jo?
Race you there? I bet I could still beat you.
Ó, tu majú nejakú schovku. Domček. Jaký parádny.
Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well, well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy?
Nie, to je roztomilé, až sa mi chce plakať.
Thank you, Torgal. For never giving up. For never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either.
To je lojálny pes. Ešte furt niečo chceš?
That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right. I'm coming. I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home.
Oh. Quest complete. Increase Turgal attacks potency. Impotenci. Dobre, kde ma to vysadí? Tu naspäť, OK. Dobre, máme hotovo. Počkaj, tu už máme cleaning obidve. Tak, ešte troška si dáme. Ježiš, ale túto celú oblasť nedám. To je bez šance. Čo tu máme? Make of Garnic. To je... Len tam až hore. Mid Havelgets, Rendalen. Poďme sem. Tu sú tie ostatné veci. 2 nové questy a ešte je 3.
Do you see that too?
Že toto musím najprv vylesť. Než môžem zavolať Čokoba.
What is it? Oh, please.
Nothing good's
gonna come na toto čumia.
Just looking at it's enough to send a shiver down your spine.
Toto je väčšia diera než hento.
Ready, go?
Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal. Oblige him. This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men...
No hoši, zdrhajte radšej. Dobre, vidím dvoch healerov. Au. Ja ti dám healovať. Kurá. Ale popravde vydržal celkom dosť. Jaké je to dostať titánovou rukou? Titána, ktorý nás tu ochránil, ho?
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together, even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals, but those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, Beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone round. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
Dobre. Tak, toto je plno ďalších úkolov, ale to si necháme na budúce. Toto ešte dokončíme. Nech tu nemám tú zelenú tečku hore, keď už som tam vyčistil.
That's better. Quentin. I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Dobre. Vrátime sa sem. Hunty, 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 hunty. Na to som čakal.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
Dobre, to máme vybavené. Takže ja som to chcel tak ako po odovzdaní zapichnúť, ale najprv robíme hunty. Ježiš, to ešte idú vykecavať sa.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends? I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw!
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
No. Haven's Cloud. A ďalšia sranda. Výborne. Prišli sme dole. Musím vyliesť teraz hore.
What do you think that thing is?
Neviem, tie vedľajšaky sú teraz fakt, že na dole. Vykecávajú a vykecávajú. Ale zase je to fajn. Počuť tie ich storky a príbehy. Dobre, máme niečo tady. Jo, tu máme tohoto skauta.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much of a pain in the arse, I hope. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
No, they most certainly did not.
No.
When faced with an unexpected foe, Ember froze. He did not run. He did not fight. Had I not been there, he would be dead. It would be too great a risk to send him out on a mission alone.
Thank you, Sid, for your honest appraisal. Ember, you braved the tower and emerged unscathed. Yes, but only because Sid saved your skin. To me, that's no better than being caught red-handed. You failed the test.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to learn, it's true. And this time he was found wanting. But I'd say he's due a second chance, nonetheless. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade, and any mind can conquer its fears. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, or you ain't. And by sniffing out that log, young Ember here has shown he has a conk and a half. Wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just you wait.
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. Just like someone else we know. And if you ask me, we've been leaning on him for far too long. That time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon.
It couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking he's been hard done by. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for a day off. Charms would be a fine thing. Back to work.
Forgive me, Sid. This did not play out as I expected.
Things really do these days. But that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Men who can make the best out of a bad situation. Remember that.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
Aby ste pochopili, nie som dal práve preto, lebo zamrznul, ako to Sid povedal. Ani neutiekol, ani nebojoval. Keby utekol, OK, zachráni si život, môže pokračovať v práci. Keby bojoval, buď by vyhral, alebo prehral, ale aspoň by bojoval. Ale on zamrzol, neurobil by nič, zomrel by úplne zbytočne. A sám. Preto som povedal, nie, scoutom nebudeš. Ale dáme mu ešte niekedy šancu. Dobrá. Toto ma nezajíma. Tam ma to zajíma. Tuto chcem odmenu.
How may I help you today, Clive?
A môžeš mi navaliť všetky prachy, čo máš. Genji Glaus.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
What is this? Počkaj, takto. Increase damage deal to enemy 5%. Je ako všetken damage increase o 5%. To nie je špatný. Počkaj, to máme... Obidve sú 10%, jo. Ale iba na tie dva útoky. Na Reading Fist a Wind Up. Ale keď všetkých 6 mojich útokov sa zdvihne o 5%, tak by som mal dávať väčší damage, než jeden útok o 10. Ktorý z nich je lepší? Dobre, Freeding Fist je horší. Takže takto a Genji Glaus. Tak. Ačko, do ríti, není tu to SK, čo som potreboval. Dobre, Sam Breakwell, Cap Orsire. Vole, to je názov. Orsire. Orsír! Oreo. Takže medzi cisárskými vojakmi posádky Northridge je príslovie: vyhnite sa topenej veži, aby vám kosák strašidla you wrote. OK. Hovoria typicky neslušnými výrazmi o otrokovi, ktorý nejaká potopená väža. Dobre. Cape Orsire. Petina. Dobre, to viem presne, kde je. Fajn, takže Sam Breakwell, Cape Orsine. Dáme na to. Toto je posledná vec, čo ideme dneska urobiť. Tak. Zabudol som, kde to je. Jedno je tu. Petting Gate. No a Baywatch. Cape Orsire. Tu. Budem musieť prebehnúť celé mesto, lebo toto není teleport na väžači, jak to mám na obelisk. Obelisk.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Takže splníme si tieto dva hunty. Z týchto dvoch huntov nezískam asi nič, čo potrebujem, čože škoda. Fakt veľká škoda. Ale možno z toho jedného, hej.
Those things didn't fight like men.
Z tohoto tu hore možno získam ten... Tidin Black Chi, čo to bolo za blbosť? Tá potopená väža to je. Ale to by to musel byť ten Prince of the Dead, a to myslím, že asi nebude on. Či bude? Dobre, mal by byť niekde tu. By. Je to on, Prince of the Dead, paráda. Takže jo, získame ten materiál. Že si ideme vyrobiť najsilnejší meč. Ja neznášam teleportujúcich sa zmen. Musela dostať.
Guess we're all ready. To me, boy! Let's try. All yours, Torgal! Now, Torgal!
No prčí, som ich tu sú trojku. Počkaj, prečo nemá stagger? Ja na 100 000, lebo to poviem, že stagger začal strašne neskoro. Teraz začal šalieť ten feedback. toto bolo absolútne. Že ma dostala práve z toho. Dobre, to bolo veľmi príjemné. Dark Steel, tak, to je ono. Máme najmocnejšiu zbraň. No a samozrejme, než pôjdeme na to ďalšie Ačko, ideme si ju vyrobiť. Čo tu máme ešte? Tu sa objavil ďalší quest.
You alright?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just...
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north. Yeah, I'll let the
Pardon,
little tykes
chcem ísť na
know
ten hunt,
that...
tak to rýchlo preklikám.
The problem is that Ed is due any day.
Is there anything I can... All right then.
A good luck charm.
Not just any.
No. One me... There's no luck. Thing is, they're hard to come by.
Only the big day is fast.
That or the bird who...
Well, there's no shortage of those passing. I think I might make that my first port of call.
You're a good friend, Clay.
Dobra.
So what do I owe the honor?
Tak, mohol by si prosím ťa mi vyrobiť túto hračku?
If I do say so
Half
myself.
Pass Twiring. Trofej byla získaná.
That it?
Ukáž. To mi príde veľmi povedomé. Nemali sme už toto niekedy na chrbte? Vypadá jak ten Ragnarok. No počkaj, kde mám Ragnarok? Ten som mu ako vrátil, keď som si vyrobil už lepší? Dobre, to by sme mali. Dobre, ideme ešte na ten posledný hunt a dneska už končíme. Fakt, koniec dneska. Proč tu je ďalší quest? Prečo sa tu objavujú z ničoho nič ďalšie questy? Keď som sa neposúval v hlavnej linke. Čuráci. Ježiš, ja musím zase otať to.
And how might I help the garrison today?
No, vypadá to, že ďalší stream, čo budeme mať zajtra, možno pozajtráž, bude všetko iba vedľajšaky. To nemám šancu urobiť. Každý vedľajšiu úlohu si zoberte, že to je takých 5 až 10 minút kecaček. Máme ich, ja neviem koľko, 10 tých questov. 10x10 to je 100 minút, to je hodina 40. No.
Do be careful.
I will.
Čo tam lietajú zadračikovia? What the fuck? Odkedy sú tu lietajúci draci? Ja nie, to je Dragonet. Ja, že to je nejaké veľké monštrum ďaleko na poli a to je hneď tu pod okom. Nakašicky týto. Tí mi nejak extra nevadia. Akašický čokobo. Ďalší čuráci. Ďalší čuráči. A tady máme mistra.
Thanks, Gal.
On to sa bude hodiť. Dragonite. King of the Splendid Heart. Let's go, boy.
You're the outlaw! The one who drove His Highness to madness! On your knees!
What? He hasn't heard. And it doesn't look like he's willing to listen.
Only your death will tell! It's all your fault!
Teleport? To ísť? Ani nevedel, že tu je. Sérii. $98,000 a to ešte bez rejču a bez Megaplay. Au. No poď, urob to ešte raz. Taká rána ho zabila. Chyba nám kuseček do 500 000, paráda.
Damn it. Dion would have been glad to have you back at his side.
Konečne nejaká akcička. A nebol až taký silný. Tých pár útokov ma prekvapilo, ale inak úplne v pohode. Dobre, headway a konec. Wow. Už som unavený. Dobre, dámy a páni, majte sa krásne, čau, 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 no a... Vidíme sa... Asi skôr až pozajtra. Čo je dneska útorok, streda, štvrtok. Hej, až vo štvrtok. Majte sa krásne, čau, čau, čau.